Hello, I'm going to show you a few seconds of a video, and then I want you to guess in the comments how you think that Matt Walsh, political commentator and conservative extraordinaire, who seems to only have one question, and it's about whether or not you're a woman. But let's see what you think his response was to this random TikTok he saw. I bet you don't know. I bet you don't. Do you think her life has been threatened now numerous times? It has. Where are we? I don't know.
It's 10:45 a.m. on a Saturday. I am 29 and single, and I don't have kids yet. Here's what your Saturday morning looks like when you're single at 29 and you don't have a kid running around the house. I didn't rise from my bed until 10:15. Every time I thought, I should probably get up and do something, I thought, why?
Grrr. Oh my God, he made a whole episode. He has episodes. Like, he's responsible for entertaining people, and he decided that was enemy number one. Yeah. Why? Well, because she's a woman, and she's decided that family and mothering and wifing is not her priority. I'm not fucking kidding. I'm not kidding. Now, why does he care? I don't know. He's married. He has 6 children. 6. Who his wife take care of. But he seems to be concerned with what every woman is doing.
Yeah, all this happened because she posted a video showing how she spent her weekend as a single child-free woman, cooking for herself, enjoying reality TV show, and generally relaxing. What I need people to understand is all this behavior women are documenting on social media is stemming from the same place. All this violence from men, like the woman Roe, who just got attacked by the guy with the brick because she wouldn't give him the number. The women who are talking about what happens when they go out by themselves as single women and how men are getting angry at the idea of them being single. And the number of women like myself who post content about their lives or fun social media commentary or whatever, only to get back crazy, insane threats. It's all part of men's extinction burst. What do I always tell you all? Anything that they say to you is projection. So when they're talking about how you're going to kick it alone or whatever, they're afraid. They're afraid they're the ones who are going to pass away alone, and they should be afraid.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about the simp crisis in this country, okay? Yes, we have a simp crisis. We got a ton of crises. But one of the crises we don't talk about enough is that there are a massive amount of simps in this country, okay? And what is a simp? A simp is basically a man who overvalues mediocre women, okay? They step up and they white knight when it's not necessary. They basically worship at the altar of feminism. They worship women, and they don't believe that women should be criticized at all and that women are always right? Women are right about everything. Men are bad. Men are dumb. Okay. I mean, these are some of the signs and symptoms of a simp, right? And we got a lot of them in this country. Okay. And we got to talk about this because the simps have come out in full force to attack Matt Walsh, who simply just commented on a video of a woman, and I did this video a couple days ago, a modern woman who is clearly coping with the reality of being single, 29, and having no kids.
So Matt Walsh and a bunch of other loser-ass right-wing grifters have been posting a video of this woman. A video in which she is simply stating how her morning as a 29-year-old single person went. She talks about how she went to go see Beyonce the night before and how she's thinking about cooking up a new meal today because she has no real obligations, aka a partner and some kids. And honestly, that's perfectly fine. Some people never want to have kids, and some people never want to get married, and that's perfectly fine. Live your life the way that makes you happy. And at the end of the video, she explains how a lot of people her age do want a partner and some kids, and how that's perfectly fine. But for her, she doesn't need nor want that yet, right? But of course, a conservative's biggest enemy is somebody who wants to mind their own business. So Matt Walsh decided to publicly slander this innocent woman who wasn't hurting anybody by saying that she's too stupid to realize how depressing this is because she decides that she wants to live life however she wants to live it. Now listen, Mr. Walsh, I understand that you think women should be pregnant and wed by the time they're teenagers. So I guess I understand why you in particular would be upset at this woman. But you know what's truly depressing about this whole situation, Mr. Walsh? The fact that this random woman, whom you do not know, bothers you so much because she decides to live her life in a manner that does not affect you. You've got people like Tim Pool saying it's cope, her life is meaningless, you don't need kids, but she has no purpose. And this is ironic because Tim Pool and Matt Walsh serve no purpose. The world would be exponentially better without these two clowns.
And I want to talk about this because, again, this type of stuff right here is kind of exactly why I tell you we got a simp crisis, and how women are also just magically immune from any type of personal responsibility or accountability when it comes to the situations they put themselves in this case, what they post on the internet, okay? Because she posted what she posted for attention, and she got exactly what she was looking for in regards to attention, and now she and others want to cry victim, right, and accuse Matt Walsh of being a bully. So let's read here in regards to what people are accusing Matt Walsh of saying that they say is bullying. Her life doesn't revolve around her family and kids, so instead it revolves around TV shows and pop stars. Worst of all, she's too stupid to realize how depressing this is. Now, here's the thing. I will admit, he probably should not have called a woman stupid, okay? There was really no reason to call her stupid. And honestly, I think there is some legitimate criticism here to say that, look, if you want people to understand your points, you're already talking about something that's very controversial. People are just going to get pissed off on it because you're coming at it from a traditional perspective. It's probably best if you don't call people stupid, right, while trying to prove your point, okay? That definitely did not help him out, okay? And that's probably what a lot of people are upset about. He goes on to say, if you don't have a family, at least do something interesting with your time. These people have absurd amount of free time, and they do absolutely nothing with it, wasting their lives staring at little glowing boxes. Absolutely soul-crushing. Okay, so he didn't say anything here that I would think would be something that, again, you would constitute as bullying, okay? Now, outside of, him calling her stupid, which I don't think he should have, all he was really doing was commentating on the core issue that was presented in the video by this woman, which is that, hey, she's 29, single, alone, and she doesn't have any kids or a husband. And essentially in the video, she's trying to make herself feel better about it by saying, hey, well, I get to do this and I get to do that, and my life is so great, even though I don't have these things. Even though in other TikToks, right, her whole TikTok is literally her talking about how depressed she is being single and childless and not having a husband, not having a man, right, and how hard she finds it to date. Okay, also keep in mind, this woman worked at a dating website, a dating company, Tinder to be more specific. So in my opinion, I think there's more to this, okay? I think that there's a lot more going on here, but this woman took to the internet to basically cry victim and to claim that she was being bullied by Matt Walsh's followers for simply talking about her date. Take a look.
Hi, my name is Julia and I'm 29 and single. Yesterday, someone named Matt Walsh decided to repost a TikTok video that I posted to his 2.4 million followers on X, formerly known as Twitter. And the way that his followers bullied me in the comments, reached out to me on social media, threatened me, was honestly abhorrent. Some of his followers said that I was gonna die alone, I should actually die and never leave my house, I should be sexually assaulted, I'm pathetic, I'm a whore, and that I was dead behind my eyes. Honestly, that one kind of made me laugh because I use Kosas concealer and I thought that it was working. No, but really, if you haven't watched the video, I suggest you watch it. It's all about how I, a 29-year-old single female, decided to spend my Saturday watching reality TV, learning how to cook shakshuka, and sleeping in until 10 a.m. And these people were really, really, really riled up about my choices on a Saturday. But here's the thing about social media. While it can be a really crazy place, which I experienced yesterday, it's a place where there's content for everyone. Here's who I'm creating content for. I'm creating content for people who are taking their time creating the lives that they want for themselves. Because it's the life that they want, not something that society has deemed correct. People who are feeling anxious in life because they haven't met their person yet or started a family, aren't rushing or settling to meet someone because some internet troll is telling them that they're gonna die alone. And you know what? There's a 40 to 50% divorce rate in the US. And I believe that figuring out who you are first and foremost and meeting your partner at that point is going to decrease that divorce rate. And if you're lucky enough to have the family and friends and support that I do, none of us are going to die alone. And I believe that we're all going to meet our people, and we're going to do it living life by our own terms. Life's too short to be living life figuring out what Matt Walsh wants us to do, or what some internet troll behind their keyboard is saying. If anyone is wondering, the shakshuka I made was delicious, and I'd love to share the recipe if anyone's interested.
Yeah, so this woman is claiming that she was bullied. A lot of people are claiming that she's being bullied. Obviously, I don't condone any type of behavior like that, okay? People shouldn't be going to people's comment sections and, saying all types of crazy stuff to them. clearly that's not something that anybody condones. I don't even think Matt Walsh condones that. And I don't think that he actually really even provoked that, because there were a ton of people who were critical or that had something to say about what she put out there to the world for the world to respond to, because that is kind of the point of social media. The responses could be in agreement or people can disagree, but to complain because somebody responds to something you put out in the world to respond to really does kind of irk me a little bit, because it's almost like you're just playing the victim card because of somebody's freedom of speech to simply say, hey, this is my response to what you said, right? Or what you put out here on social media that, again, this woman wants people to engage with. Otherwise, she wouldn't put it out on social media. But let's actually read here what Matt Walsh said in regards to him being a bully, right? He says, the woman that I quote bully posts constantly on TikTok about how she's 29 and single and living an easy life because she doesn't have kids. She wants people to notice these facts about her, which is why she announces them to the world daily. Like, quite literally, that is what she does. Again, you got to do your research into these people before you actually really comment on a lot of this stuff. And I do that every time I respond to somebody's TikTok or I, react to a TikTok. I always get a feel for who they are. Okay, is this a grift, right? Are they legit? Is it fake? Is it a parody? It's very important to pay attention to what people post, okay, and what they posted before, because it tells you something about them, right? This woman, her whole TikTok is, I'm 29 and single, and because of that, I'm depressed, right? So then she posts a TikTok, her basically, obviously coping with the depression, and then Matt Walsh says, well, hey, maybe you're living your life in a way that's not as fulfilling as it should be. Maybe, this is what you're doing because you want to find some fulfillment in something that's not really fulfilling, okay? And this is just his opinion, right? And just because he stated his opinion, now, again, he's been accused of being a bully, right? He says, so I noticed and I gave my take. That's how the internet works. She's not a victim. Calm down, everyone. If you go out in public and promote a life of meaninglessness and despair, I might respond and point out that the meaninglessness and despair are not good things. If you don't want to hear my opinion, then don't start the conversation. Pretty simple. Yeah, I mean, again, this woman's whole TikTok is about having a conversation on being single, a woman, and alone, and having trouble dating, and how depressing that is, right? And again, she literally posted TikTok on how she's coping with that, trying to pretend that her life, watching TV and, going to Beyonce concerts is somehow better than being a mother and having a man, which is something that she obviously wants to do. And that's the point, right? That's the point. The point is that she is trying to make it seem like the modern woman life, which is what society pushes on women, right? Oh, you don't need a man. You don't need kids. You should be a career woman, okay? And the only man that you need to worry about in your life is your boss, right? Some of these women advocate for women to treat their boss better than they treat their man, right? This is what they advocate for. And, your life is going to be so much better. Okay, we've seen it from people like Chelsea Handler, who tried to essentially crap on women who do choose to have kids and do choose to be married and do choose to have a man in their life, right? She's trying to act like the life of a modern woman is better than the traditional role that she obviously wants, right? And the only thing Matt Walsh is doing is just pointing this out. But nobody wants to point out the fact that this woman, it appears to be, again, this is the type of attention she was looking for, and the whole point of her TikTok, because she worked for a dating app, okay, Tinder. She started a TikTok basically every single day talking about how she's single, alone, depressed, can't keep a man, how she goes out on multiple dates, yada, yada, yada. It seems to me that she's kind of trying to hone in on a niche, right? That this is more of a business thing, more so than an actual real personal experience thing, if I had to guess, okay? And now people want to come and white knight for her, people like Mark Cuban, because she got a response, right? That one of her videos went viral and people responded to it, which is what people do on social media. So now, again, that has led to a full-blown simping crisis of people rushing to her defense, okay? Even though, again, this is clearly, the attention that she kind of was looking for as somebody who I think is trying to get into the dating niche, right? I'm almost certain her whole TikTok is more of a business thing rather than her actual personal real life experiences. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Okay, so Mark Cuban responded to Matt Walsh, says the guy whose life revolves around Twitter/X. I mean, well, hey, at the end of the day, he does make money from it. And then Stephen Miller, who worked for the Trump administration, decided to respond to Mark Cuban and said, "You have a large following. People listen to your advice. What would you say is more fulfilling path for adults, starting a family or sleeping late and watching TV? What advice would you give to someone who suggests they wish to be childless so they can stream more shows?" So Mark Cuban responded. He says, "Thanks for asking, Stephen. I wouldn't give her advice unless she asked. After looking at the comments to her post, I would thank her for offering a place for people who can relate to her to engage and have a conversation. She replies to the comments, and based on that, people seem to appreciate it. From a business perspective, I would tell her that the wellness space is crowded, but if she does this in addition to her job, she might be able to build a nice business." So clearly, Mark, you can see that this is more of a business thing than an actual real life thing, right? Like, this is business, okay? I mean, clearly it's a grift, right? That's what she's doing, okay? She's literally grifting, right? Even Mark Cuban can see it, but he feels the need to defend a woman who, is posting this for attention, who's saying these things for attention to appeal to a certain audience, getting a response, which is what happens when you're on social media, right? He says, as far as a family, I would tell her to do whatever she thinks is best for her. It's none of my effing business. If I had you both in a room, I would point at her and thank her for trying to bring joy to others. And I would point at you and ask what happened to cause you to hate so much. Seriously, Stephen, why so much hate from you? Again, so it's hate now for you to simply participate in a debate about, whether or not is more fulfilling in life to have a family or to do what modern society wants women to do, right? Apparently that's hate now, right? To simply just comment, right? To comment and say, hey, maybe this woman's life would be more fulfilling if she was more traditional. Clearly she believes that, right? If you believe her TikTok is 100% real and legit, clearly she believes that herself. But again, apparently that makes you hateful. Miller shot back, adding, in the interest of time, I will respond with 2 points. One, no society can succeed where the constant message from our leaders is to do whatever the hell you want and don't worry about children. Children are simply the most important thing in the whole world and the foundation of civilization and all human flourishing. 2, could you be more specific with your crass? And I think I would acknowledge unprovoked smear on point 5. The issue/work with which I'm arguably most associated with, stopping human smuggling and trafficking, is quite literally about saving human lives. Yeah. So, I mean, look, here's the thing. Here's how I feel about this, right? All this white knighting is unnecessary, okay? This woman is clearly, she has a business plan, right? She's trying to grow her business, and her business just got a whole lot of, free marketing, okay? So I don't think that, she's a victim here. But I want people to understand, when conservative men comment on stuff like this, it's not that conservative men, or I guess more red pill or traditional men, it's not that we want to see all women be baby factories and to be wives and to be, to belong to a man. That's not necessarily what it is. What it is just a pushback against what a lot of men feel like are making men and women less cooperative with each other, right? When you're pushing this idea to women that, hey, your true happiness doesn't come from traditionalism and doing what I would argue from a religious and evolutionary perspective, women generally should want to do or should aspire to do in order to achieve true happiness in life. No. You don't need to. You need to be, worried about celebrities and watching TV and, being happy, doing all this other stuff that doesn't involve a family. Almost as if they're trying to make it seem like being a wife and being a mother is a bad thing. Okay, that's the problem. I personally don't give a damn about what this woman does, right? She can be alone, she can get married, she can do whatever she wants to do. I personally don't care. It's not even about her. It's more about the conversation in general. It is about what society pushes on young women in general, okay? It's about making men and women more compatible. It's about seeing men and women happy together, okay? Because I mean, I personally believe that's when people are happiest is when, they have somebody in their life that they love and they care about and they build something and, they grow together. That's personally what I believe. And, I'm not forcing anybody to get in a relationship at a young age or when to do it, when not to do it. I'm not doing any of that. But again, this is the same type of criticism Kevin Samuels got, right? And Kevin Samuels stated, look, I'm being hard on women and I'm hard on men. And he was very hard on modern women because, hey, he wanted to see happier and better relationships, right? Because in this country, we do have an issue, as this woman pointed out, with divorce rates. And I think a part of that is, again, what society is pushing on women in regards to what will make them happy, right? And what they're saying is that, well, don't be traditional, right? Do all this other stuff, okay? Have your life revolve around consumerism, right? Celebrities and Netflix and movies and, things that, in my opinion, personally as a man, I wouldn't find those things to be fulfilling. I don't even really find those things to be all that fun, to be quite honest with you either. But hey, she has the right to live her life the way she wants to live it. It's not about her. It's just about the general conversation, right? But again, if you participate in the conversation, if you say, hey, I don't think that this is what makes women happy, right? I think that maybe she'll be happier if, she continued to try to become a more of a traditional woman and live a traditional life, which, maybe she agrees with that. Based off her TikToks, she seemed to agree with that. If you say that, if you point that out, apparently that's hate and bigotry and bullying, right? Because again, they don't want you to participate in the conversation, right? They don't want you to push back against the agenda that is being pushed on men and women, okay? And this is why we continue to have this gender chaos and this gender war, because again, you're not allowed to have these type of real conversations. You're not allowed to push back against the narrative, right? You see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.